I tie one last pink balloon to the fence post and step back to survey my handiwork. The backyard looks magical, if I do say so myself. 9 pink place settings dot the picnic table, each with a matching napkin folded into a crown. The bounce house, a $275 splurge that made my credit card wince, stands inflated and waiting, its princess turrets gleaming in the October sunshine. The Pixel Princess cake from Mila's favorite video game sits on the dessert table, 9 candles standing at attention. Perfect, I whisper, though nobody's around to hear. I glance at my watch for the 3rd time in 5 minutes. 11:42. Mom and my sisters should be here by now. They promised to come early and help set up, but that promise evaporated like morning dew. Just like always. The sliding glass door squeaks open behind me, and Mila bursts into the yard, twirling in her new birthday dress. The purple fabric, her royal color, sparkles in the sunlight as she spins. Mom, is it time? Is it time? She bounces on her toes, then freezes. Her eyes dart around the empty backyard, scanning for faces that aren't there. Where's Grandma? And Aunt Savannah and Aunt Lacey? Are they bringing Tyler with them? Did they see the bounce house yet? I force brightness into my voice. They're on their way, sweetie. Probably just running a little late. Mila's face falls for just a second before she rebuilds her smile. Okay, I'm gonna watch for them from the front window. Cried. She dashes back inside, and I bite the inside of my cheek until I taste copper. I should have known better than to believe they'd show up on time. Or at all. The doorbell chimes, and I hear Mila's excited shriek from inside. I hurry around the house just in time to see my daughter's face collapse as she opens the door to find only Aunt Carol standing there, a wrapped present tucked under her arm. Happy birthday, sweet pea, Carol says, stooping to hug Mila. My daughter hugs her back but peers around Carol's shoulder, searching the empty driveway. Is Grandma coming with you? Carol straightens, her eyes meeting mine over Mila's head. Something like anger flashes across her face before she smiles down at my daughter. I came on my own today, honey. But look what I brought you. She hands Mila the gift, beautifully wrapped with a bow that must have taken 20 minutes to perfect. That's Aunt Carol for you. Always thinking about the details. Thank you, Mila says, her voice smaller now. She clutches the package to her chest and looks back at me. Mom, can I put this with the other presents? Of course, baby. The party's already out back. As Mila disappears into the kitchen, Carol steps inside and closes the door. Eleanor and the girls aren't coming, are they? She asks, not bothering to whisper. My phone buzzes in my pocket before I can answer. I pull it out, already knowing what I'll see. Don't be dramatic. It's just a kid's party. We'll make it up to her at Christmas. My mother's words burn on the screen. Just a kid's party. Just my kid's party. I'm guessing that's your answer, Carol says, watching my face harden. She squeezes my arm. I'm sorry, Maya. The doorbell rings again, saving me from having to respond. Parents start dropping off classmates, 8 little girls in party dresses, bearing gift bags and birthday cards. My neighbor from across the street arrives with folding chairs and a cooler of juice boxes. 2 doors down, Mrs. Wilson brings an extra tray of finger sandwiches and a sympathetic smile. For the next hour, I move through the party like I'm underwater, taking pictures, serving cake, supervising the bounce house. Through it all, Mila keeps looking toward the gate, her eyes lighting up every time it opens, then dimming when another classmate arrives instead of her grandmother. When are Grandma and Aunt Savannah and Aunt Lacey and Tyler coming? She asks, for what might be the 10th time, tugging at my shirt as I refill the snack bowl. I'm not sure, sweetie, I say, smoothing her hair. But look at all your friends who came to celebrate with you. She nods and runs back to the bounce house, but the slump in her shoulders tells me everything. This isn't the first time my family has let her down, and something in her 9-year-old heart knows it won't be the last. My mind drifts to last Christmas, when I maxed out my credit card buying gifts for everyone. $840 worth of presents I couldn't afford, because family matters. 3 months ago, I covered Savannah's salon rent when she came up short. $1,650 that I've never seen again and probably never will. Maya can handle it. They always say, she's good with numbers. Good with numbers, like that somehow translates to having extra money. Ever since Dad walked out when I was 20, Mom has treated me like an ATM with legs. You're the head of this family now, she declared the day after he left, as if his departure promoted me to his position of financial provider. My phone pings with a notification. I glance down and my stomach curdles. Savannah has posted on Instagram a photo of her, Mom, Lacey, and Tyler raising mimosa glasses at some fancy brunch spot downtown. The caption reads, "Family first." Family first. Right. Mom? Mom. Mila's voice breaks through my thoughts. She's standing by the present table, surrounded by her friends, ready to open gifts. I tuck my phone away and plaster on a smile. "Coming, birthday girl?" The girls cluster around as Mila tears into her presents. She thanks each friend with genuine delight, but when all the gifts are opened, she looks up at me, her voice trembling slightly. "Did Grandma forget my birthday?" The question stabs straight through my chest. I open my mouth, searching for words that won't come, when Aunt Carol steps in. "Your grandma has a terrible memory sometimes," she says, winking at Mila. "But that just means you might get a surprise another day." Mila brightens a little at this possibility, and the moment passes as the girls rush back to the bounce house for one last jump before their parents arrive. Carol squeezes my hand. "This isn't right, honey." I nod, not trusting myself to speak. When the last classmate has gone home, I retreat to the kitchen with a stack of plates, letting silent tears fall as I wash each one. Through the window, I can see Aunt Carol helping Mila test out her new sidewalk chalk, their heads bent together over a rainbow taking shape on the driveway. My phone buzzes again. Another text from Mom. "Need $350 for a family emergency. Can you transfer it today?" The plate in my hands cracks as I grip it too tightly. I stare at the message. At the timestamp, 3:48 p.m., right in the middle of the party she couldn't be bothered to attend. Something inside me breaks too. A dam I've been patching for years. I set down the broken pieces, dry my hands, and stare at the message a moment longer. The time for tears is over. A week later, my phone buzzes against the kitchen counter while I'm making Mila's lunch. A peanut butter sandwich cut into triangles, apple slices arranged in a smile, and a note with a little heart. Small gestures to show her she matters. The phone buzzes again, and again. The family group chat. I wipe my hands on a dish towel and pick it up, my stomach already tightening. 1 week since Mila's birthday disaster, and I've barely heard a word from any of them. The screen lights up with my mother's message. Exciting news. Savannah's Sweet 16 venue is confirmed. $1,850 per guest with Maya covering Grandma's share since she's on fixed income. Details attached. I nearly dropped my phone. Sweet 16? Savannah is 26 years old. Mom means sweet 26. Lacey clarifies in the next message. Theme is second chance at Sweet 16, since her real one was at the VFW hall. My fingers tremble as I open the attached PDF. There, printed in glossy color, is a sponsorship page with my LinkedIn profile picture prominently displayed under Platinum Sponsor, Maya Allen. What the? I bite back the word, aware of Mila's small footsteps padding down the hall. Another text arrives from Lacey. Maya, you're the accountant. Just handle the deposit. Deadline this weekend. Not a request, a command. Mom? Mila appears in the doorway, Lego piece in hand. Can you help me with this spaceship? In a minute, sweetheart. My voice sounds strange, distant even to my own ears. I watch her shuffle back to her room, shoulders slumped in that way that's becoming too familiar. Just like at her birthday party. Just like every time my family makes promises they never keep. After Mila's door clicks shut, I sit at the kitchen table and open my banking app. The balance stares back at me. $4,213.47. Every penny earmarked for Mila's braces next month. On the counter sits the stack of medical bills from when she broke her arm 2 years ago. Insurance covered most of it, but the $1,200 deductible had cleaned out my emergency fund. I'd sold Grandma Rose's silver ring, the only heirloom I owned, to cover the emergency room visit. Grandma Rose, who taught me to balance a checkbook when I was 10, who'd be horrified to see how her daughter treats her granddaughter. My budget spreadsheet is open on my laptop, color-coded, precise to the penny. Rent, $1,025. Utilities, $187.32. Groceries, $420. Car payment, $315.76. After-school care, $240. The margins are thin, but we make it work. Our small 2-bedroom isn't much, but I've made it a home. Clean, cared for, safe. I scroll through old Venmo requests from my family. Last month, $650 for Savannah's salon. Emergency. Month before, $420 for mother's new patio furniture. Christmas. $840 for family gifts. None repaid. None even acknowledged beyond a quick, "Thanks, sis," text. My mother, Eleanor, has perfected the art of financial manipulation. She wields guilt like a credit card with no limit. "After all, I sacrificed raising you girls alone," she'll say, conveniently forgetting it was her constant spending that drove Dad away. Savannah, my youngest sister at 26, runs a salon that hemorrhages money faster than she can highlight hair. Every crisis is an emergency, requiring immediate funds. Every loan is just until next month, but somehow next month never comes. Then there's Lacey, 24, opportunistic and drowning in credit card debt from online shopping sprees she can't afford. Somehow her financial problems always become my financial solutions. The doorbell rings, startling me out of my thoughts. "I've got it," Mila calls, running to answer before I can stop her. I hear Aunt Carol's warm voice in the entryway. "Hello, sunshine. Is your mom home?" Carol steps into the kitchen, arms loaded with a casserole dish. Her eyes narrow at my expression. "What happened?" she asks, setting down the food. I wordlessly turn my phone toward her. She reads the message, her mouth tightening into a thin line. "They've got some nerve," she mutters, sinking into a chair beside me. "After missing her birthday." No. They had brunch instead," I say flatly. "I saw the Instagram post." Carol reaches across the table and squeezes my hand. "Your mother has always been like this, even when we were kids, but you don't have to keep playing along." A knock at the back door interrupts us. Mrs. Wilson, my 1-year-old neighbor, waves through the window. I gesture her in. "Brought you some banana bread," she says, then stops, reading the room. "Bad time?" "Family drama," Carol explains. Mrs. Wilson nods knowingly. She's been bringing me casseroles since Mila was born, offering wisdom without judgment. She saw how often I took time off work when family emergencies struck, witnessed the parade of relatives asking for favors but never returning them. "Your coworker," James called. "Mrs. Wilson says. Something about covering your shift tomorrow if you need it? Said to tell you he's returning the favor." James, always willing to swap shifts when mother demands my presence for some crisis. One of the few people who actually reciprocates. "Mommy?" Mila stands in the doorway, clutching a piece of paper. "Can I hang this on the fridge?" It's a school drawing labeled, "My Family." Just 2 stick figures holding hands, me and her. My throat tightens as I take the picture. "Of course, baby." While I'm finding a magnet, I notice the stack of thank you cards on the counter, handwritten by Mila herself for each friend who came to her birthday. Each one decorated with careful crayon stars. That night, after tucking Mila in, I pass her room and hear her small voice. "God, please make Grandma like me more." Something in me shatters. Back at my laptop, I find an email I wasn't meant to see forwarded inadvertently by the hotel. The contract for Savannah's Sweet 16 was signed 3 weeks ago. Before Mila's birthday. They'd known all along they wouldn't be coming. I open a folder on my desktop and create a spreadsheet. Every Venmo request for the past 3 years. The total makes me dizzy. $23,470. My calendar shows 14 vacation days taken for family events, hospital visits when Savannah had minor surgery, helping mother redecorate, driving Lacey to job interviews she never showed up for, 0 days when any of them watched Mila while I worked overtime. I open Facebook. Mother has posted a family photo with the caption, "So blessed with my girls." The picture has been cropped. I was standing at the edge, cut out completely. The anger rises in me, not hot and explosive, but cold and clarifying. For the first time in years, I see the pattern with perfect clarity. I pick up my phone and open Venmo. The next day, I stare at the Venmo app on my phone, fingers poised above the screen as if disarming a bomb. The kitchen chair creaks beneath me as I straighten my shoulders. My mother's latest demand glares from my email inbox: $1,850 for Savannah's Sweet 16, with me covering Grandma's share since she's on a fixed income. As if my income stretches like carnival taffy. The audacity burns through me like acid. They skipped Mila's birthday to plan this extravaganza. In the next room, I hear my daughter humming to herself, arranging her stuffed animals for a tea party. No cousins, no grandmother. Just fabric friends who never disappoint her. I tap the screen and create a new payment. The recipient field fills with my mother's name, and I enter the amount, $1. In the memo line, I type a single word, congrats. My thumb hovers over the blue payment button. One press, and everything changes. I think of Mila's face at her party, watching the gate, waiting for family who never arrived. I press send. The confirmation appears instantly. I take a screenshot and save it to a new folder on my phone labeled Boundaries. My lungs expand fully for what feels like the first time in years. The kitchen walls seem to widen around me. Mom, can we have spaghetti tonight? Mila calls from the living room. Absolutely. I answer, my voice steadier than it's been in months. By noon, I've made 3 phone calls that should have happened years ago. The locksmith arrives at 2:15, a stocky man named Frank, who whistles through his teeth as he replaces both front and back locks. The invoice reads $175 less than a single small favor my sisters typically request. All set, ma'am, Frank says, handing me 2 shiny keys. No one gets in without these now. While Mila naps on the couch, I create a spreadsheet documenting every loan my family hasn't repaid over the past 3 years. The total makes my stomach clench, $23,470. Enough for a decent used car, or a year of community college, or braces for Mila, with money left for a family vacation. My phone buzzes incessantly throughout the afternoon. I silence it after the 20th text. Instead, I draft an email to the hotel, hosting Savannah's event, attaching screenshots of correspondence proving I never authorized using my name or business credentials as a platinum sponsor. The hotel manager responds within an hour, apologizing for the confusion, and confirming my name will be removed immediately. By evening, Mila and I sit at our small kitchen table, twirling spaghetti, and watching cartoons on the portable TV. She laughs at something silly on screen, tomato sauce dotting her chin. This is enough, I think. We are enough. The doorbell rings at 8:47 p.m. Through the peephole, I see my mother flanked by both sisters. Their faces contort with barely contained rage. Maya Allen, open this door right now. My mother's voice carries easily through the wood. I step back as the pounding begins. The new deadbolt holds firm. Is that Grandma? Mila appears behind me, her eyes wide. Yes, but she forgot to call before coming over, I say calmly. It's too late for visitors tonight. More banging. The doorbell chimes repeatedly. You can't hide in there forever, Savannah shouts. After everything we've done for you. My phone lights up with texts. You're betraying this family. How dare you embarrass us with the hotel? What kind of daughter acts like this? Through the peephole, I watch Mr. Patterson from across the street step onto his porch, arms crossed. The Rodriguez family peers through their blinds. My family has become a spectacle, but for once, I'm not scrambling to fix it. Should we let them in? Mila whispers, clutching my leg. No, honey. Remember our talk about people respecting our home? This isn't respectful behavior. The flash of police lights bathes the living room in blue. I close my eyes briefly. Of course they called the police. When I open the door, Officer Thompson stands on my porch. I recognize him. He coached Mila's soccer team last spring. Evening, Miss Allen, he says, his expression professional but kind. We received a call about a family dispute, something about threats, and a family heirloom being withheld. Behind him, my mother puffs up like a peacock. She's refusing to return property that belongs to our family, she announces, and she's sent threatening messages. I feel Mila's small hands gripping the back of my sweater as she hides behind my legs, her stuffed rabbit clutched to her chest. May I come in for a moment? Officer Thompson asks quietly. At my kitchen table, I show him everything. The texts, the emails, the receipts, the screenshot of my $1 Venmo payment. I've been financially supporting them for years without repayment. I explain. I changed my locks today because I'm establishing boundaries. There are no heirlooms, no threats. Just me saying no for the first time. Officer Thompson reviews the evidence, his eyebrows rising occasionally. When he finishes, he leans back in the chair. They're used to you taking care of everything, he says. Now you're changing the rules. That's always hard for people to accept. He returns to the porch where my family waits, their certainty visibly diminishing as he speaks to them. Minutes later, they retreat to their cars, my mother's finger jabbing in my direction before they drive away. After checking the locks twice, I find Mila sitting on her bed, small legs dangling over the edge. "Mom," she says, her voice barely above a whisper. "Am I not important enough? Is that why Grandma and my aunts didn't come to my birthday?" The question knocks the wind from me. I kneel to meet her eyes, taking her small hands in mine. "No, sweetheart, you are the most important thing in the world. That's exactly why I have to protect you from people who don't value us." My phone buzzes on the nightstand. Another text from my mother. "You'll regret this. Family is everything." I delete it without responding and tuck Mila into bed, pulling her comforter up to her chin. "It's just us two," I tell her, smiling genuinely for the first time in days, and that's plenty. After she falls asleep, I check my phone one last time. A text from Aunt Carol appears. "You did the right thing. They're furious, but truth is on your side." Another message from Mrs. Wilson next door. "Those brownies cooling on my counter aren't going to eat themselves. You fought the right fight today." My coworker James, "Need extra shifts to rebuild savings? I can swap Tuesday for your Saturday." An email from Mila's teacher. "She seems happier this week. Everything okay at home?" I set my phone aside and breathe deeply. The house feels different tonight, lighter somehow, as if the walls have stopped pressing inward. I've been so focused on building a family that I never noticed a community forming around us, brick by brick, person by person. Tomorrow will bring new challenges. But tonight, for once, I sleep without the weight of impossible expectations crushing my chest. My phone buzzes at 6:30 a.m., jolting me awake before my alarm. I squint at the screen, my stomach dropping when I see Savannah's name. Not a text. A Facebook notification. "Savannah Allen mentioned you in a post." I tap the notification with my thumb, already knowing what I'll find. Her profile loads, revealing a paragraph-long status update. When toxic people show their true colors, some folks pretend to care about family until they're asked to contribute. Then suddenly, they're too good for the rest of us. Guess money means more than memories to certain people. 17 comments already, most from extended family and high school friends I haven't spoken to in years. "So sorry you're going through this, sweetie. Blood isn't always thicker than water. You're better off without negative energy in your life." I scroll through the comments, each one a tiny needle. Nobody asking for my side. Nobody questioning why I might have sent that single dollar. Just automatic assumption that I'm the villain in this story. The bedroom door creaks open and Mila peeks in, hair tousled from sleep. "Mom? Are you okay?" I lock my phone and paste on a smile. "Fine, sweetie. Just checking emails." She believes me, thank goodness, and pads back to her room. I wait until her door clicks shut before opening Facebook again, my finger hovering over the comment box. Paragraphs form in my head, explanations, defenses, receipts, evidence stretching back years. Instead, I type 5 words. "I wish you all well." Then I log off, shut down the app, and slide out of bed. The kitchen feels different this morning. Lighter somehow, despite the social media assault. I pour cereal for Mila, make coffee, check her backpack for homework. Normal routines that suddenly feel revolutionary without the weight of pending family demands. My phone rings while I'm washing dishes, a number I don't recognize, but the area code is familiar. I almost let it go to voicemail, then answer at the last second. "Maya, it's your Uncle Robert." My father's brother, a ghost from another lifetime. "Uncle Robert? I haven't heard from you since." "Your high school graduation." I know. His voice sounds older, rougher. "I heard what happened with Eleanor and the girls." My shoulders tense. "How?" "Small town. Plus your mother called me trying to recruit allies, I suspect." A dry chuckle rumbles through the speaker. "Thought you might like to know you're not the first person she's done this to." The dish I'm rinsing nearly slips from my fingers. "What do you mean?" "Why do you think your father left?" 20 minutes later, I'm sitting at the kitchen table staring at a photo. Uncle Robert texted me, "Dad, at my 5th birthday party, eyes hollow, shoulders curled inward." The same expression I've seen in my own mirror for years. History repeating itself, Uncle Robert had said. She drained him for years. Then she moved on to you. The doorbell interrupts my thoughts. I open it to find Mrs. Wilson from 2 doors down, holding a casserole dish. "Chicken and rice," she says, pushing it into my hands before I can object. "The ladies from Street Marks will be by with more tomorrow." Mrs. Wilson, that's really not. We've all been watching. She cuts me off, her voice firm but kind. Some of us have been exactly where you are. Family can be wonderful, or it can be quicksand. Before I can respond, she touches my arm. There's a rotation of us keeping an eye out when certain cars drive by. Just so you know. She leaves before I can thank her properly, the warmth of the casserole dish seeping into my palms. I place it on the counter and notice an envelope that must have been tucked underneath. Inside is a $200 gift card, with a simple note. For Mila's needs. No name, no strings attached. Just kindness without expectation of return. The contrast knocks the wind from me. I sink onto a kitchen chair, tears blurring my vision. These neighbors owe me nothing. We exchange waves at mailboxes and occasional small talk about weather. Yet here they are, forming a protective circle while blood relatives wage digital war. That evening, after Mila's asleep, I pull out my budget spreadsheet. For the first time in years, I recalculate without factoring in family emergencies. The numbers shift before my eyes, revealing an extra $732 monthly that's been disappearing into the black hole of my family's demands. $732. Enough for Mila's braces, with some left over. Enough for the education account I've been dreaming about since she started kindergarten. Enough for a modest vacation at the lake this summer, where she can make memories that don't include waiting for relatives who never show up. I stare at the numbers, my breathing growing steadier with each inhale. Then I open a browser and research savings accounts for education. 20 minutes later, I've opened one in Mila's name with a small initial deposit. A start. A seed. The next morning, grocery shopping feels different. I study prices out of habit but realize I'm not calculating each item with the razor-thin margins of before. At the checkout, I splurge on a bunch of tulips, $24 for no reason except they're pretty and will make our dining table cheerful. This small rebellion against scarcity brings a smile to my face that lasts all day. Saturday morning, Mila wanders into the living room while I'm folding laundry. She's wearing her favorite pajamas, the ones with rainbows that are getting too small but she refuses to give up. Aren't we going to Aunt Savannah's party today? She asks, casual as can be. My hands freeze mid-fold. What? The Sweet 16 party. I saw it on your calendar before. She shrugs. Taylor from school is going. Her mom is friends with Grandma. The familiar guilt surges through me, bitter as copper. Should I reconsider? Am I being too harsh? The questions cycle through my head, old programming trying to reassert control. Then Mila adds, I don't really want to go anyway. Those parties are boring. You have to wear itchy clothes and smile all the time. Decision made. How about we go to the park instead? The basketball courts should be empty this early. Her face lights up. Can we get ice cream after? Absolutely. Hours later, we're sitting in a booth at Dairy Dream, sharing a $7 sundae. Chocolate fudge drips down Mila's chin as she giggles about beating me at horse. Her happiness is unfettered, genuine in a way I rarely saw at family gatherings, where she walked on eggshells, desperate for attention that never came. A woman at the next table smiles at us. Would you like me to take your picture? I hesitate, then hand her my phone. She captures us mid-laugh, ice cream and all, our faces pressed together. When she returns the phone, I study the photo, messy, imperfect, radiantly happy. Nothing like the posed family portraits my mother insists on each Christmas, where everyone holds strained smiles and calculated positions. I like this way better than a fancy party, Mila declares, diving back into the sundae. So do I realize. So do I. My phone chimes with a text from Aunt Carol that night. I dry my hands on a dish towel and tap the notification. You dodged a bullet, her message reads. Sweet 16 disaster. Complete train wreck. I sink into a kitchen chair, torn between curiosity and relief. My thumb hovers over the call button, but Carol beats me to it. The phone rings and I answer. What happened? I ask, voice hushed so Mila won't hear from her bedroom. Carol's laugh crackles through the speaker. Where do I start? They seated your mother next to the smoke machine. You know how her asthma acts up. She spent half the night coughing and complaining. Of course she did. I can picture her, dramatically waving her hand in front of her face, making sure everyone notices her discomfort. Savannah fought with the DJ over every song. The poor man looked ready to unplug everything and walk out. Carol lowers her voice. And when the bill came? Eleanor's face turned whiter than that fancy tablecloth. Suddenly, nobody could make eye contact. I wind the dish towel around my finger. How much was it? Let's just say they went way over budget without your platinum sponsorship. They kept glancing at the empty chair where you were supposed to sit, like they'd saved a spot for your wallet. A small, vindicated smile tugs at my lips before guilt squashes it. I shouldn't be happy about their misfortune. It's not misfortune when you design a party around someone else's bank account, Carol says firmly. It's consequence. The next morning, I'm organizing files at work when a shadow falls across my desk. I look up to find my mother standing there, wearing her Sunday dress. We need to talk, she says, loud enough that my coworkers glance over. My stomach drops, but I keep my voice level. This isn't appropriate, Mom. I'm working. She sets her purse on my desk, covering the spreadsheet I've been updating for the past hour. Family comes first. I stand, guiding her toward the break room with a light touch on her elbow. 10 minutes, I whisper. Inside, she launches into a speech about forgiveness and family duty that sounds rehearsed. I recognize pieces of Pastor Wallace's sermons woven throughout. Speaking of Pastor Wallace, she says, adjusting her pearl earrings, he called me after service today. He's concerned about our family division. Said reconciliation is God's way. I stare into my lukewarm coffee. Did you tell him why we're divided? She waves dismissively. Details don't matter when family is involved. They matter to me. That evening, an envelope was waiting in my mailbox. No return address. Inside, a handwritten note reads, "Children need their grandmother. Think about what you're doing to Mila." The next day, Savannah's husband calls. "Just give them what they want," he pleads. "Peace is worth the money, Maya." Then comes the Thanksgiving invitation, cream cardstock with gold embossing. A handwritten note at the bottom. Water under the bridge if you contribute $750 for the venue. I place it on the counter beside Mila's school photo. Her smile has returned these past weeks, brighter than before. After tucking Mila into bed that night, I sit at the kitchen table with an old family photo in my hands. Christmas, 7 years ago. Dad was still with us then. Mom hadn't yet assigned me his financial responsibilities. We're all smiling, though I remember the argument that erupted 10 minutes after this was taken when Dad questioned the credit card bill. My phone sits beside me, Mom's number highlighted. One tap would reconnect us. One call could smooth everything over. Just another check, another withdrawal from my savings, another promise I'd make to Mila that I'd have to break when their next emergency arose. Mila's voice echoes in my memory. Am I not important enough? I place the old photo in a drawer and replace it with her school picture. The girl with the confident smile deserves better than what I had. The next morning, I draft a letter. Not an emotional plea, but a documented history. Every loan, every missed event, every broken promise with dates and amounts. Terms for future contact laid out in clinical precision. Boundaries with consequences spelled out in language. Even Savannah could understand. I make copies. One for Mom, one for each sister. One for Pastor Wallace with a cover note explaining the financial manipulation he's been unknowingly supporting. The final sentence takes me 3 attempts to write. This isn't about money, it's about respect. I sign each copy, slide them into envelopes, and send them certified mail. 2 days later, a small envelope arrives, addressed to Mila. The return address belongs to Bethany Thompson, a classmate who couldn't attend her birthday party. Mila tears it open at the kitchen table, her eyes widening at the handmade card covered in glitter and stickers. "Sorry I couldn't come. Happy 9th birthday," she reads aloud. She tilts the card, and $3 bills flutter to the table. A note explains, "For ice cream. I'm saving up for a bike but wanted you to have this." Mila handles the money like it's made of glass. "Mom, can we get ice cream tomorrow?" "Of course we can." She carefully places the card on our refrigerator, straightening it 3 times until it's perfect. "This is the best card ever," she declares. I watch her skip off to her room, the $3 clutched in her hand. $3 from a child saving for a bike, worth more than all the hollow promises my family ever made. The phone rings that evening. Grandma's number. I almost let it go to voicemail but answer on the final ring. "Maya, you need to fix things," she says without greeting. "Your mother and sisters are fighting constantly since that letter arrived." "About what?" "Money, what else? Your mother says Savannah pushed too hard with that Sweet 16 business. Savannah says Lacey promised you'd cover more than your share. They're all blaming each other for driving you away. I close my eyes, familiar pressure building behind my temples. For a moment, I'm tempted to step in, to mediate as I've always done. Instead, I take a deep breath. I'm not responsible for fixing adult relationships. But you've always been the sensible one. Grandma insists. Yes, I say, watching Mila through her bedroom doorway as she arranges her stuffed animals for a tea party. That's why I'm making a different choice now. I balance on a wobbly stepladder, roller in hand, as soft yellow paint transforms our living room wall. 2 months since I sent that $1 Venmo payment, and the world hasn't ended. In fact, it's gotten brighter literally. Mom, you missed a spot. Mila points with her brush to a patch near the ceiling. Her purple t-shirt bears splatter marks like tiny yellow stars. Got it, Eagle Eyes. I stretch higher, rolling paint over the stubborn white square. What do you think? Better than the old beige? Way better, Mila says, attacking the baseboards with the focus of a surgeon. It's like sunshine inside. The front door opens, and James from work pokes his head in, carrying a bookshelf under one arm like it weighs nothing. Special delivery, he announces. Where do you ladies want this? By the window, I say, climbing down. You didn't have to build it yourself. James shrugs. What else would I do with my weekends? Watch golf? His laughter fills our small house, a sound that once would have made me tense, expecting my mother's judgment about male visitors. Now I just smile, and help him position the oak shelves where afternoon light will hit them. Later, Mila arranges her books by color while I stand back, admiring our handiwork. The calendar on the fridge catches my eye. Movie night, written in Mila's crooked handwriting for Friday. Park day for Sunday. No family obligations. No emergency loans. The tension I carried in my shoulders for years has melted away, leaving room to breathe. Mrs. Wilson called. Mila says, carefully placing her Harry Potter collection on the middle shelf. She wants to know if I can come over tomorrow for knitting lessons. Do you want to go? Mila nods, her eyes bright. She says I have natural talent. Then absolutely. I tuck a strand of hair behind her ear, leaving a smudge of yellow paint on her cheek. Sorry about that. She giggles, deliberately touching my nose with her paintbrush. Now we match. 2 weeks later, Mila stands in front of her third-grade class, holding a poster board titled, My Hero. Her teacher, Mrs. Langston, emailed me about the project, but I wasn't prepared for the lump in my throat when Mila unveils her work. 2 stick figures hold hands against a crayon sunset. Above them, careful letters spell out, My mom taught me that love doesn't hurt. That evening, a note arrives from Mrs. Langston. Mila seems so much more confident these days. Whatever you're doing, keep it up. I place the note on our refrigerator with a magnet shaped like a sunflower, right next to Mila's drawing. Christmas cards arrive, including one with my mother's handwriting. Inside, guilt drips from every line. Families should be together during the holidays. We've all made mistakes. Savannah's text arrives next. I miss my niece. Tyler asks about her. Then Lacey emails about a family healing retreat in Arizona. The price tag, $2,300 per person, makes me snort coffee through my nose. I read each message twice, waiting for the familiar twist of shame and obligation in my gut. Nothing comes. Just calm clarity as I type a single response to all 3. We've moved forward. I wish you well. Our Christmas tree stands 4 feet tall in the corner, adorned with popcorn strings and ornaments Mila crafted at school. The presents beneath it aren't expensive, a new sketchbook, colored pencils, a telescope found at a garage sale, but they're wrapped with care, each tag written in my best handwriting. Mrs. Wilson brings apple cider. James arrives with a casserole that's more cheese than vegetable. Aunt Carol drives 3 hours to join us, bearing homemade cookies and genuine hugs. I brought something else, Carol says, handing me a leather-bound album. The first page reads, Our family of 2 in her elegant script. It's beautiful. I whisper, touching the embossed cover. Room to grow, she replies, nodding toward our guests laughing in the kitchen. January finds me joining a support group for single parents at the community center. February has me volunteering at Mila's school once a month. Uncle Robert, Dad's brother, sends occasional postcards with encouraging notes from his travels. We're building something new, brick by careful brick. As another October approaches, bringing Mila's 10th birthday, I plan a simple celebration. a picnic in the park, a homemade cake, friends who actually show up. The mail brings a card from my mother containing a crisp $50 bill with no strings attached. No demands, no guilt, just, "Happy birthday, granddaughter," signed in shaky script. I consider returning it, then slide it into Mila's birthday fund instead. Boundaries don't mean cutting people off entirely, they mean controlling the terms of engagement. Tonight, after Mila falls asleep, I sit at our kitchen table writing in the journal Aunt Carol gave me for Christmas. The words flow easily. Real family isn't defined by blood, but by the people who show up when it matters. I glance up at our wall, where a new photo hangs in a simple frame, Mila and me, flanked by Aunt Carol, Mrs. Wilson, James, and Uncle Robert, at the park last weekend. Below it, a small wooden plaque reads, "Our family." The house is quiet except for Mila's peaceful breathing from the next room. I close my journal, feeling something I haven't felt in years. Home.